Welcome to the channel, Earthlings. We are working on a 2012 Nissan Maxima. This thing would charge when cold, but quit charging when warm. I want to go ahead and just jump right into it. Us as YouTubers sometimes get some flack for not getting to it. I'm not a backyard guy, I'm a front yard guy. Just so you know, it's not to shine any kind of a badge. I mean, we don't really make that much money, do we? Now, this right here is the connector for the alternator. We're going to get back to that a little bit later. Some hardware here. I took off way more than was necessary to try to find the best way to pull this alternator out of here for you guys, to give you one comprehensive video that goes through the process, but not holding your hand. I'm not going to take you across the street like a little old lady in this video, but I'm going to give you everything you need, including the torque specs if you stick with me. And I'm not going to tell you where to fast forward to in the video to get that, because I have some really good tips for you. It's worth watching the video, I promise. All right, now, like I showed you with this connector here, it's all, you know, as you can see, the tab is gone. The wiring was pretty brittle. I mean, it's rough, right? So I said, you know what, while I'm in here, let me go ahead and get this thing changed out. So I would say on this car, it's a wise idea. That wire is very crispy to go ahead and do it. There's the connector kit from Nissan directly. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that. All right, now, little backstory on this car. This alternator was already replaced by someone. You have to remove this coolant elbow right here, okay? It's like a big plastic piece that turns and goes this way. It's got the radiator cap on it, and it connects to this hose right here. All right, as you can see, I took the cooling fans out. You do not need to release the Freon from the AC system, or I should say recover the Freon from the AC system, because you don't need to disconnect the AC lines if you stick with me to the end here. There's a video where a guy can show you how to take it out right here through the top, but I would say you want to put a piece of cardboard in here to protect the radiator, because you're going to be fumbling around down in here with the alternator, and all it's going to take is one slip to drop it into the radiator. I didn't want to deal with that, so I did some research and I found a better way. Now, I did have to take the cooling fans out, like I said already, and the way to do that is you're going to have to bring it a little bit to the left, and you're going to have to bring what would be the passenger side up on a US car, okay, guys? Passenger side has to come up, and it will come out sort of like, let's say this is level, you'll tilt up, and then you'll kind of drag it over and come up like this. The only thing that's really in your way is you're going to find there's a hard line right here. See this hard line connects to the compressor? It's still connected to the compressor down there. All right, that hard line is going to be making contact with the back of the frame of the fan. Let me show you over here on the fan. It's going to be touching like here as you come out. This is the passenger side. This is the top, right? So there's a sensor that bolts up right above here, a crash sensor. You're going to have to unbolt that, disconnect the wire harness right there and there, and you're going to have to tuck the wire harness in the front side of the fan, okay? Don't try to do it back here. It's not going to work out for you. Front side of the fan, and then bring this side up first as it comes out, all right? And let me show you vertically if I can. So this part of the frame over here is what's going to make contact with that hard line, this or that lower one right there. So when you're coming out, you're going to want to come up, over, and when you get to about this point right here, you're going to go, this is how we fix things in Russia, and just whoosh, and yank it out, okay? I'm telling you, trust me. Do it, and then thank me later, all right? You're going to feel good when it comes right out, okay? Don't break anything, though. I didn't tell you to break anything, all right? So once you get the fan out of your way, you'll have more room to work from up here, all right? Yes, you're going to have to drain the coolant. Don't even waste your time trying to do it any other way. Chock your wheels. Put the car on jack stands safely like that. My wheels chocked. My tires under there, right? I have this jack under here for a reason. I'll show you, okay? But drain it into a 5-gallon bucket. Make sure it's a clean bucket. Clean the area around the plug. And you might be able to reuse the coolant if you pour it through like a coffee filter or something like that if you're really on a tight budget. I would recommend replacing it, but hey, to each their own, right? Okay, this bracket sits at the top of the alternator, okay? Before you even get to this, you got that little oval hole. There's some connectors for wires, okay? Those two, all right, little clips that hold wires on. And it's this wire that goes over to the side right here. I don't know if you can see me wiggling it down there. It's a T, so it comes off where the alternator wiring comes from. Now you can see my alternator wiring here. I loomed it separately than that stuff. So I gotta go ahead and loom all that. It was all crispy right there. So I'm gonna take care of that. Let me get a flashlight. This thing's kind of bright, so forgive me if it blinds you guys. Turn your brightness down if you can, but this thing's all the way at its lowest now, okay? But so you can see where it tees over. It's very important because that's for the cam sensor, as you can see right there. It's very important that that wire goes to the outside of the bracket I was just showing you, okay? The guys who worked on this car last, they put a cheap AutoZone alternator in it, and it failed within a week. Don't go with the lowest one they have. Even the clerk told me don't do it. Don't warranty it out for the same one. Get the higher line one that they have. Obviously go factory if you can afford it, but most people can't these days, which is totally understandable. So this bracket, the way it bolts up, it's going to bolt to the alternator and to the engine block, and then it's also going to have those guidance points for the wiring, okay? So we're going to make sure that we get this oriented right going back in, obviously, and we're careful about putting the cam sensor wiring around to the outside of it. All right, it's very important that it goes around to the outside, because if it goes to the inside, it's going to chafe on this bracket, and with the looming being all dry rot, especially if you don't reloom the wires, which most people aren't going to, it's going to chafe right there, and eventually you're going to end up with a code. All right, so route that correctly. All right, another thing, moving on. There is a small hose down here that you can see, or that you can't see because I don't have a light on it. That small coolant hose right there has to be disconnected. Even if you drain the radiator, when you disconnect that hose and you push down on it a bit, some coolant's going to come out. So have a drain pan or a bucket underneath there. Bring the hose more over towards this side and push down on it and let it drain some, or put some hose clamp pliers on it. Let me show you guys those in case you haven't seen them. Some are going to go, man, come on, get on with it. But some people need to see this stuff so they know that it's out there. So you can squeeze hoses with these and it'll keep the fluid in, all right? These are kind of old, but they work. I didn't do that. I just drained it because I wanted to do a coolant flush anyway. But, okay, so we got the wiring, the bracket. That ear right there, right in front of my finger, is where the bracket bolts up. That's where the hose goes. It's just got regular pliers to loosen off those hose clamps there. Just the spring type hose clamps. We got the fan out, like I said. Tuck the wire harness in front of the fan to remove it. This sensor, do not try to disconnect it. It's a crash sensor, just unbolt it. Don't knock it around too much, all right? But just tuck the wire harness up into the fan shroud area like this, and you'll be able to yank the fans out this way, all right? Now, the trick is, we dismounted the AC compressor. We did not disconnect the lines, okay? So if you look way down in here, I'll try to get the phone down in here. You'll see 2 bolts on the back of the compressor that go into the engine block. Let me try to get you down in there. See the one at the top and then a hole at the bottom? Those 2 go in from the front of the car to the back of the car, okay? This compressor bolts up from 2 different axes, or axes, all right? So, and right here at the front too, you see those 2 right there, and you'll have to take off an idler pulley that goes right there. There's the idler pulley right there, okay? Now, once you take that off, you can drop the compressor down, okay? But what I would also recommend is take off this little bracket right here, that 10 millimeter that holds this line from the oil filter housing, all right? It's like the heat exchanger on the back of the oil filter housing for coolant, more than likely, oil cooler, a little tiny one. And disconnect this oil pressure sensor that's right here at the front. If you need to see about the oil temperature sensor, which commonly destroys its wiring like you see right there, I have another video on that on the channel, so take a look at it. Now, when you drop that compressor down, you're gonna have to move this line right here down out of the way. The previous guys who did the alternator, they did not take off this wire they tied right here to hold the line down. So you could tell that somebody that was rushing, did not double check their work, was not paying attention, okay? There's these 2 clips that it goes in right here, and you can put it down out of the way. You can drop the compressor down in here pretty far like this, put a piece of cardboard over top of it, right? Then once you get the alternator unbolted, so there's gonna be 2 points that it bolts up right here. And then, like I said, above, okay? Once you get that unbolted, you're gonna have to wiggle it back and forth till it drops down. That's why I say put a piece of cardboard on top of here, because you don't wanna damage the coil wires. They're right on top. You don't wanna break those, and everything's kind of brittle here, so be careful about that. While you're in here, spin your idlers. That one is shot. That's the tensioner. We have that and idlers to replace, so we're gonna go ahead and do that as well. We'll make another video on that. But this is basically the way that I was able to get the alternator out. Now, this is not it. Don't go running away just yet. You notice I didn't have to bend this tab that most people do, all right? And here's the reason why. There is about 2 1/8 of an inch between, sorry for the shaky footage, the top of the subframe and the body. I took a 21 millimeter and I loosened that up, okay? And I put the jack here to support it, but when I started loosening it up, I just kept a gap on the jack like this. And I just let it come down until, like I said, I have about 2 1/8 from the top of that big washer you see there to the body up there, okay? I didn't want to take it all the way out because I don't know what's going to go on if the body is threaded, or I don't want to lose track of what it's threading into up in there, okay? So just loosen it enough to where you have about 2 1/8, maybe 2 1/4. I wouldn't go much further than that. And then you can see that I put this mechanical screw type jack right here. You have to put it right where I put it because any further forward, it's slanted, so it just slides out of place. All right, but there's a sensor back there. You see the electrical connector right there? That electrical connector connects right behind it. That's the pressure sensor, so be careful for that pressure sensor. Pop that line down out of the way. You don't need to put a whole lot of force because you're not only gonna loosen up this subframe bolt right here, but you're also gonna get the one on that side, okay? And I'll give you the torque specs for all of that so you don't just gun it down like I see most people in the videos do. You actually torque it. It's not that, oh, if I gun it down, it'll never come loose. Yeah, that's true, but if you over tighten it, you know, in the event of an accident and stuff like that, the car is not going to perform the way it's supposed to because you got major structural things that are either over tightened or under tightened, all right? So I think about all of that when I put people's cars together. I want to give them the best possible outcome no matter what happens. All right, so, and you know it's crazy out there on the road nowadays. So you can clearly see dropping down the subframe, drop the AC compressor down out of the way. We had no reason to disconnect the AC lines. All right, I see green oil down here. So that looks like leak tracer from the AC system. More than likely the previous guys did disconnect it. You know, I could have probably checked the AC first, but I didn't bother. I got right to it. All right, and then I saw this after and I'm like, I could have just took the line off. But then I wouldn't have did it this way so you guys could see it. You know what I mean? So my pain is your gain. You're welcome. So you better like and subscribe like right now, all right? Take a break, like, subscribe, comment. Hopefully your comments are good, but even if your comments are bad, I still enjoy those too. So, and we answer every single one. So if I don't cover something in the video that you need, leave a comment and I will get back to you, all right? And pretty quickly usually too, all right? Please don't send nude pics. I don't want to see that. No, thank you. All right. But moving on, there's one other thing that you need to know, okay? I popped this reservoir out of place. There's a clip right here. You push back on it. Be careful not to break the reservoir when you do it because this clip is really stout. And I took the bolt out of that torque arm. Mine, I needed to replace it, so I loosened up that bolt as well, which was a good idea. Do that before you drop the subframe. I should have probably told you that before, just in case someone ran off from the video. But then again, that's what you get for not watching to the end and paying attention, right? So I would loosen this, take this out before you put the load on the engine of the subframe coming down at the front. Because as you can see, it moved significantly forward, right? So to replace this was a bit difficult. I had to loosen these and actually pry this thing up. And I was able to just weasel it out of there. I mean, just barely squeak it out of there. That bolt is like 2 inches too long as well, by the way. So it's a real shitty design. They could have just left us a little hole right here. But, you know, what I think happened is that back in the day, a mechanic slept with an engineer's wife, and all of us have been paying for it ever since. So anyway, that's how it goes, all right? That's how we do it. We drop the subframe. We drop the AC compressor out of the way. We dropped the alternator down on top of it, use a piece of cardboard to protect that coil wire. I know it's a mess. I don't normally work like this, but this was a hot job. Needed to be done. This car was broken down. The girl's mom or grandma is in the hospital pretty far away, and so we're trying to get this done for her so she can get out there to see her grandma. I know this car looks like it's been run into the ground, and now it's an emergency. Isn't that the way it always goes, right? A failure to plan on everybody else's part turns into an emergency on the mechanic's part, right? Gotta love it. That's the life. So, but that's why we get paid the big bucks, right? Bullshit. But anyway, so you see, we drained the coolant, the hose, the bracket at the top. Drop the AC compressor. Just to recap with you guys, okay? Check your wiring. If it's bad, just do this, okay? Measure the length of the pigtail wires. Cut back as far as you can. Don't go too far. Make sure you have enough length for this to reach down to the alternator again. Redo that connector. Trust me, you'll thank me when it works out good. Here's the alternator. When you get the connector, try the connector on there. Make sure that it does fit, okay? And make sure that this bushing is pushed back. This was the other thing I was saying earlier that I wanted to tell you guys about, is make sure that this is flush or even a little bit recessed, which mine is just slightly recessed, so it feels good. Like, this will slip right on, okay? The other thing is, with those cheap alternators that you get from AutoZone, I realized that they paint them, right? And they don't take the paint off right here. So that might have been the problem with the old one, even, is it probably wasn't getting a sufficient ground. And then a mechanic that's gonna leave wire tied underneath the car holding someone's coolant line probably did not take the time to clean that or clean the mounting bosses. I'm gonna use electrical cleaner and at least wipe it down so I get the best possible connection. And to be honest with you, I'm probably gonna take the paint off of right here as well. I want the best possible ground, okay? Now, before we move on, when you spin it, you may hear some little clicking and stuff like that. It's because the bearings are new and, you know, small, tiny little clicking. Don't freak out. You know, as the grease distributes, the bearings will get quieter. All right, moving on. Okay, for the connector, just in case you decide to do that, like I told you, there's a yellow, a brown, and a blue. These are not in order, okay? See, 3, 2, 4, okay? So what you're gonna wanna do is look at this. Remember, now you're looking at the connector from the back. There's the wires going in, okay? 4, 3, and 2. So go ahead, and this took me a while to find, by the way. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that. So if you get lost on the wiring, you have it right there. You're good to go. I just saved you. You owe me a like and a subscribe now. You literally owe me. All right, now let's go ahead and give you the meat and potatoes right here, okay? When you are tightening this AC compressor down, okay, this is going to be after the alternator, obviously. It comes out before, and then obviously goes back in after, because it's going to be in your way. Remember, it's 2-axis or 2-axis. Somebody correct me on how to say that, please. But 41 and 45, and this is foot-pounds, okay? Foot-pounds, all right? Not Newton meters, not inch-pounds, not grandma's toes, foot-pounds, all right? I don't know where grandma's toes came from. I'm hopped up on coffee right now trying to get this done, so forgive me if I'm nuts. Okay, so that's the AC compressor. One more time, take a screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Trying to keep this video under 20 minutes, okay? All right, here we go. Here is the alternator with the bracket that I showed you, okay, up at the top. Okay, there you go, 21, okay, for that one, and same thing for that one, those 2 screws. This connects it to the head, the ear on the cylinder head, and this goes into the alternator, the spot where I said I want to take the paint off of. There you go. And then 8 foot-pounds on the nut for the battery positive terminal. That's plastic. Don't overdo it. Less is more. I use this little swivel deal like this to take the other one off. Just, you know, with a long extension to reach down there. 2 extensions, actually. All right, and then the bottom one, 48 foot-pounds. Go ahead and screenshot this. Sorry, my air conditioning is blowing this out of the way. Yes, I have air conditioning in my garage. It's hot out here, all right? Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Sorry about it. I'm like giving you guys a shadow here. Let me try it a different way. I got a brighter light right there. There we go. 21, 21, 8 down there, and then 48 over there. All right, take notes, take notes. Okay. The torque arm mount, if you're replacing it, the one that's vertical is going to be 69 foot-pounds, and then the one that's horizontal that I took out so the engine could shift forward a little more, give me a little easier access down there with the subframe, that's going to be 63 foot-pounds. All right, foot-pounds. All right, screenshot. Maybe there's something else on this page you need. Screenshot it, and just in case. You got all the other engine mounts and stuff like that on here too. And if you get stuck, like I said, comment, and I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. And then the idler pulley you'll have to remove, that's going to be 22, all right? And if you decide to do the tensioner, there you go. Those are 18, all right? By the way, let me show you something with the tensioner that's pretty cool. I actually took an M8 bolt. Let me find my light now. I think I just threw my light someplace and totally forgot what I did with it. Got a little bit too much in a hurry. Oh, here it is. Okay. I put that Allen right there, you could see in it. All right, when you hold on to it with like a 13, I believe, right there in the middle of the pulley, and you rotate it downward, you put that M8 in there, it fits right in there perfectly, and it holds it off for you, perfect. But if you need to change out the tensioner, I'm gonna make a separate video on it, but it looks like you gotta go through the pulley to get one of the bolts up there. Hopefully we don't have to remove the power steering pump to do it, but then there's one down below behind the pulley, I think. So I think I'll have to take that bolt out anyway to do it, but check this out. That'll spin for like 2 hours on its own. It's worn out really bad. And the other thing is, it's got a lot of play. So check it all out. Be very careful. Remember, take that line out, watch out for the sensor, take that one out of the 2 clips right here along the subframe, drop subframe down, drop the AC compressor down, put a piece of cardboard on top, drop the alternator on top of it, take it out. You almost have to turn the alternator sideways, and it's gonna come out right in this area right here, all right? Almost sideways, like right on top, dead center of that pulley, okay? Right on the top of it. And it'll come out in your hands, and you'll be real happy when you finally get it out. It looks like a lot, it looks difficult. It does take some patience, but you'll get there, all right? You'll get it done. And if you need any help, let me know. Like I said, I'm here for you. I got the part numbers, I have the torque specs. I'll hold on to everything for you, all right? Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you on the next one.